Oh, hallelujah. When I know that it's true, you're the answer to my troubles. You're the only and the finisher on my faith. The anchor on my life. I'm gonna trust you, my redeemer, my desire. Praise Jesus, you're familiar with my weakness. And I fix my hope upon you, Jesus. You're the owner and finisher of my faith. I will trust in you all the days of my life, and I'm gonna reach to my home.
Hello everybody, this is Success with Bob Mweti Live. Thank you so much for joining. This is Success with Bob Mweti Live. Hello everybody, this is Success with Bob Mweti Live. I can see a few people are joining. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give a few more minutes, then we can start the show today. And in today's show, I'm going to talk about the life of a master's student, international student here in the US. All right. In today's show, I'm gonna talk about the life of a master's student here in the US. Thank you everybody for joining. This is Success with Bob Mweti Live. And like I said, in today's show, I'm gonna talk about the life of a master's international student, okay, here in the US, all right? For those who don't know me well, I came to the US as an international student, so I just want to give you, an idea of how life is here in the US as an international student studying your master's degree, all right? You can see a few people are joining. Carol, Faith, Duncan, Kennedy, thank you so much for joining. And this is Success with Bob Mweti Live. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. This is Success with Bob Mweti Live. Thank you for joining, Muyeshi. Thank you. In today's show, I'm going to talk about the life of an international student, especially a master's student here in the US. All right. I'll give a few more minutes for more people to join, then I can start the show. All right. Thank you everybody for joining this show today. This is Success with Bob Mweti Live. It's a beautiful Saturday here. I live in Tampa, Florida, here in the US. I'm trying to get rid of seeing something on the screen. Okay, it's a beautiful Saturday here. I live in Tampa, Florida, here in the US. And for those who are following me for the first time, my name is Bob Mweti. Now, I came to the US as an international student. I came to the US about 10 years ago. All right. And I struggled a lot. I've shared my story a lot of times. I struggled a lot to get out of my country in order to come and study here as an international student. Okay. It took me about 8 good years to finally come here and study here in the US as an international student. Okay. I was denied visa 4 times. I tried to go to the UK as a student, but I was denied visa 4 times for UK, okay, before I finally decided to come to the US as a master's international student, okay. Now, I always see a lot of people also struggling. A lot of people reach out to me every single day, telling me about the challenges that they are facing while trying to come here in the US, all right. If you're out there and you're facing these kind of challenges, for example, being denied visas, these are very common challenges, okay. It's not always that, when you go out there to the US embassy, you're going to get the visa. But what I can always tell you is to try as much as you can, okay. Don't go there, get denied once, and then go back and say, you know what, I'm not going to try this again. No, okay. But also, I always say this, you have to be prepared, okay. You have to be prepared because I remember the main reason why I was never really getting visas is because I was never really prepared, okay? And that's why it took me a lot of time to finally come here and study here in the US, okay? So, anyways, the reason why I normally have this show, Success with Bob Mweti Live, is to actually share a lot of information that a lot of people are looking for out there, okay? There's a lot of information out there on the internet, but a lot of people, they are not able to find all the different information from different places, okay? And that's why in my show, I always like sharing the information that can really help you. If you want to come to the US as an international student, I've said this again, I came here as an international student, I have the experiences, okay? I've been denied visas, okay? I've been denied acceptance to universities. So I know what it feels when you get some of these denials, okay? So I can always give you advice. I can tell you exactly what to expect, okay? So you can always tune in to my show because I share this information with you, and this is, of course, free information, okay? Now, like I said, I came to the US. I came here to do a Master of Business Administration, and I majored in professional accountancy, okay? Now, I get a lot of people asking me, like, how is life out there in the US as an international student, especially as a master's student, okay? Now, here in the US, if you want to come as a master's student, okay, you're gonna come either in January, okay, or in August, okay? Schools here, the intakes are either in January, okay, which is usually called the spring intake, or the fall intake, which is usually in August, okay? Now, a typical master's program requires you to do 30 credit hours, okay? A typical master's program requires you to do at least about 30 credit hours. Credit hours, each, we call them like, like units, okay? For example, what you studied in your bachelor's degree, which we used to call them units, here in the US, each unit is about 3 credit hours. Most units, for example, if you're coming to the master's program, there are some units out there, they are like 1 credit hour. But most of master's units, they are 3 credit hours, okay? So, if you're required to do about 30 credit hours, okay, and each unit is 3 credit hours, it means that you're gonna need to take about 10 subjects or units, okay? Now, here in the US, the law requires you as an international student to take at least 9 credit hours. Okay, the law here in the US, the immigration law, as a full-time international student, you are supposed to take at least 9 credit hours. Okay, so that means if you're doing your master's program here in the US, you are supposed to take at least at least 3 units or 3 subjects every single semester. Okay, now what does that mean? It means, for example, if you're just going for a regular master's program, it's going to take you about 3 semesters to finish your program, which is like 1 year and 1 semester. Okay, 1 year and 1 semester, you should be good. Okay, and they also have something called the summer sessions. Mostly summer sessions, there are no classes, but sometimes if you want to take extra classes, you can definitely do that. All right, you can take extra classes in summer and you can end up, finishing your degree a little bit earlier. But be prepared to be in school for at least 3 full semesters. Okay, because like I said, you can't take anything less than 3 units, which is 9 credit hours. Okay, so you can only take 9 credit hours and above, and I don't think you can take more than 15. Okay, which means like more than 5 lessons. I mean, sorry, not lessons. More than 5 units. Okay. Now, how are the classes conducted? Okay, when I came to the US, I found things were a little bit different from what I had experienced back home. Okay, for my undergraduate degree, I went to Strathmore University. Okay, very good school back in Kenya. And it's here it's a little bit different in the sense that you get a lot of assignments. Okay, and there's a lot of involvement in what you're doing, as groups. Okay, you have a lot of presentations. When I was back home, I really never had a chance of presenting something in front of the class. Okay, and I'm one of those people who never really had a lot of confidence when I was growing up. Okay, like talking in front of people was a big deal for me. And I remember the first time that I had to present something, I think it was in my 3rd year or 4th year, and I was presenting, and it's only one single time. Okay, and I was shaking, like I was so scared, I was shaking. But when I came here, I found things are different. Like the lecturers, the professors, they encourage students to do presentations in front of the class. Okay, so you have no choice. You actually have to go in front and then talk about your term papers and your assignments and stuff like that. Okay, so be prepared. Be prepared to be in that kind of a setup where you have to do presentations in front of people, and it's very, very important. I'm telling you guys, if you graduate from here and you are lucky enough to get a job in corporate America, okay, it can really, really help you. Okay, what you learn in college. Okay. And I think I've shared my story also. Like, I got into what I do now as a consultant because I networked a lot with some of my Indian or Asian students. Okay, that's how I got into the IT industry. All right, I was not an IT. I didn't have any IT background. I have actually a Bachelor of Commerce degree in accounting and finance from Kenya. And then I came here for my MBA. But I couldn't get a job with that kind of a background. So I had to change. And that's how I ended up, getting into the IT industry. But I got into that because I networked a lot. Okay, I was looking at what these Asian students were doing because they were getting good jobs here in the US. And yet I could see a lot of our people, me, I was struggling. I had to extend 1 semester. I couldn't get a job, even internship. Okay, so that's how I was able to get into the IT industry, through networking with the people that were in the same class. Okay, so it's very, very important when you come here, look and see what these other students are doing, especially, I keep on saying this, especially the Asian students. Okay, don't just come here and have good time, guys. All right, okay, I know sometimes life in the US can be very nice. Okay, you want to go out, hang out, that's good. Okay, and then if you come here when you are young, I came here when I was 25, 26 years old, so that's the time most of the people are having good time and all that. Of course, it's good to have good time, but also remember, you need to network. Okay, you need to find people that can help you in your next phase. Okay, once you graduate from college here, okay, what do you do next? Okay, remember, guys, I've talked about getting papers, I've talked about working here and working good jobs. Okay, and getting sponsorship. Okay, so when you come as an international student, you have an international student visa. Okay, so if you want to stay here and stay here legally, okay, you have to find an employer who can sponsor your work visa. Okay, so as you come here and it's try to do your master's program, you have to think about your graduation. After graduation, what are you gonna do? Okay, how are you gonna get your visa? How are you gonna get your work visa if you really want to stay? Unless you don't want to stay here after your graduation, then that's fine. Okay, you don't have to worry about that and you can always go back home. Okay, but if you really want to stay here, okay, you have to think about what's gonna happen after you graduate. And I've told you guys, it's very, very hard for you to get a very good job if you don't have the right immigration papers, guys. Okay, immigration documents. All right, you need that, okay, for you to be able to get a really good job here in the US. Okay, now how are the classes conducted? Okay, at what time of the day do you have to go to class if you're here as an international student pursuing your master's degree? Okay, now most schools, their classes for master's programs are usually like in the evening. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why this is awesome. All right, so if you come here and you're doing your master's program, you're not gonna be going to classes like 8 in the morning. Like the way I was used to when I was back in my country doing my undergraduate degree. Like I used to go to school every single day, Monday through Friday. Okay, from 8 to like in the evening. Here it's different. If you're here for your master's program, okay, you don't have to go to class in the morning. Most classes, they are in the evening from 4 o'clock. Okay, so you have the whole day. Okay, you have the whole day to do all kinds of stuff. Okay, the classes are in the evening. Okay, and I've told you, like for example, if you're just taking the minimum required credit hours, which I said it's 9, which means that you are taking 3 units, okay, or 3 subjects, okay. So it means you are probably gonna have classes in just 2 days out of the whole week. Okay, 2 or 3 days maximum. Okay, so the rest of the days, you're free. Okay, you don't have to do anything. Okay, so that's really why it's so, there's a lot of time. Okay, I've always said this. Like I found out that, and then this is just me. Maybe some other people, they might see it differently. But for me, the master's here in the US, my master's education here in the US was it was the easiest one. Let me put it that way. Okay, it was the easiest one. I usually think I usually say, for me, high school was my hardest. Okay, for me, high school was not easy. Okay, for the grade that I got, I had to put in a lot of work. Okay, I used to wake up like so early in the morning, like 4 in the morning. I'll be awake and I'll go for prep and study, and then like later in the evening when everyone goes to sleep, I'll stay in class for up to like midnight. Okay, so for the last 2 years in high school. Okay, so I had to put in a lot of effort. Okay, but when I did my undergrad, it was not as tough as the high school. But when you come here in the US, you're going to find out that it's a little bit easy here. Okay, it's really, I'm going to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's not that hard. Okay, so don't be scared. Okay, even though it's it's a foreign country. Okay, and you're here for the first time, you don't know exactly what happens. Don't be scared. Here, things are much more easier to do. Okay, like I've told you, the class is going to be just a maximum of like 3 days in a week. Okay, if you're doing just 3 units, okay, which is 9 credit hours. All right, now how about the exams? Now if you're here for your master's program, most schools, for you to score an A, all right, listen carefully, for you to score an A grade, you have to score, for you to get an A grade, you have to score 90%. Most schools, okay, the schools that, I went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, which is a state university, and I think most state universities, they are like that. So you have to score a 90%. All right. Now, a lot of you might think, oh, you know what, 90%, that's very high for you to score an A. Not really, because the assignments that you do, they count towards your grade. Okay, sometimes even attending classes, you get awarded some marks. Okay, so it's very easy to score that 90%. Initially, I was very, very scared. I thought probably I will never get, an A grade in any of my units. Because I remember when I was doing my undergraduate, for us, A was 70%. Okay, So to get 70% was very, very hard. Okay, me for my undergrad, I never scored 80 and above. Okay, so when I came here and I'm told A is 90%, and I never had 90% in my entire undergraduate, program back home, I was like scared. Okay, but let me tell you, it's easy to score that 90%. Okay, I'm telling you. Your assignments, everything. They have like assignments pretty much in every lesson. At the end of every lesson, they give you something to work on. Okay, which is very, very good. Okay, and those ones, they count towards your grade at the end of the semester. Okay, and also you have like term papers and stuff like that. So those ones will count towards your grade at the end of the semester. Okay, very, very important. Okay, now, if you are coming for a master's program, depending on the program that you are going for, let's say, for example, you are coming for an MBA, there's something called prerequisite. Okay, a prerequisite is basically some of the units or some of the subjects that you should have had before you do that program, that master's program. For example, I'll give you an example. If you're coming, let's say, for example, you are coming for an IT master's program. Let's say, for example, business analytics and information systems master of science program. Okay, so if you're coming for that kind of a program, there will be some prerequisites, okay, that says you should have done probably some basic or some intermediate programming. Okay, programming classes, or maybe some intermediate or basic accounting classes. Okay, so because master's program, like for example, if you're coming from a Master of Science degree in business analytics and information systems, you don't really have to have an IT background for your undergraduate. Okay, you can have a business background, you can have any kind of background. Okay, this is IT, right? So anyone want to get into IT, you can be a food scientist, as your qualifications from your undergrad. Okay, but you can decide and to come here for your IT master's program. Okay, it's possible. Okay, people do that all the time. Also, you can come here and have, like, let's say, for example, have a nursing degree and maybe decide to come here and do your MBA. That's totally fine. Okay, but when you're coming for these programs, they have the prerequisites, which are basically the subject that you have to have done prior to you getting into the program. So if you're coming from a totally different kind of a background, okay, then you have to do this. And the way you normally do them is you can do those prerequisites as you do your master's program. Let me explain it a little bit. Now, let's say, for example, because you're supposed to do 9 credit hours, you take 9 credit hours, which are master's units or subjects, okay? Now, on the other side also, you can take your undergraduate classes to be in compliance with the prerequisites. Okay, let's say, for example, you're doing your Master of Science in Business Analytics and Information Systems, right? And you're required to do some basic programming classes as your prerequisites. So what you do is, as you attend your classes for your master's program, at the same time also you're gonna need to enroll for your prerequisites in undergraduate classes. Okay, so that you can meet that requirement. Otherwise, if you don't meet that requirement, then you won't be able to graduate. Okay, now the thing is, if you are doing any prerequisites, okay, you have to pay for those. Okay, and here, here school, if you are here for your master's program or your undergraduate program, you have to pay by credit hours. Okay, you have to pay by credit hours. For example, if you're doing a master's program, most schools, they're going to charge probably about at least $500 per credit hour. Okay, most state universities. Okay, so if you have to do the prerequisites, it means that you have to pay a little bit more for your education. Okay? All right? So that's really how you do it. Okay? You go for your prerequisites for some undergrad classes as you undertake your master's classes. All right? Now, when you come for your master's here, you are assigned like a program advisor, your own advisor. And this is the person who will be advising you on everything that you need to take as far as your units are concerned, okay, or the subject, all right? So, for example, if you are required to take basic programming classes for your undergrad, then you can't really do the more advanced programming classes for your graduate level before you finish your basic programming classes for your undergrad. Okay, so your advisor will give you that kind of advice and tell you, okay, you don't have to take that class until you complete your undergrad so that you can have some basic understanding of programming. Okay, that's why they are very, very helpful, these advisors. Okay, you are assigned an advisor, okay, throughout your life here in the US as an international student, okay, whether you are master's or undergrad. Okay, and this person, you go to this person every single day. You have any questions about anything in school, about what you are studying, you should go to this person, and this person will guide you on what you need to do. And this person is usually a professor within your department. Okay, let's say for example in the College of Business, some professor there will be assigned to you as your program advisor. Okay, and you can always go there and ask for the advice on what you need to do. Okay, now when it comes to working here in the US as an international student, I think for those who follow me, I've told you that you can work on campus, okay, and you can only work up to 20 hours. All right, so if you're coming for your master's program, okay, and you're, let's say for example, because I've told you like most of the time you're going for class like in the evenings, right, from 4 p.m. So during the day you're gonna have a lot of time to work somewhere else, okay, and you can work at different places, okay, in when you're working here in the US, when you're studying here in the US as an international student, okay, there's so many places within the university that you're gonna be going where you can actually get a job. Okay, so when you come here, the first thing that you need to do is start looking for those jobs because they are there, but also there's a lot of competition. Okay, so you have to be really quick. Okay, you have to know where do I find those jobs and stuff like that. Okay, so for example, you can work in the computer lab. Okay, you can work in the library, you can get some job maybe in some of the departments. Also, if you're here as a master's student, you can work as a graduate assistant. Okay, a graduate assistant is someone who helps professors with work, okay, with basic work. Okay, for example, invigilating exams. Okay, maybe helping with research work. Okay, when I came here, I got a graduate assistantship from my second semester. Okay, so until I finished. Okay, I used to work as a graduate assistant, and I used to also, that kind of a job comes with some kind of a scholarship. Okay, so also I used to get the scholarship, they used to pay half of my tuition. Okay, which was like, I don't know, maybe $2,000-$3,000 a semester, which is good. Okay, and when you're working as a graduate assistant, you also get paid. Okay, it's not like you're working for free. Okay, they give you the scholarship and then they give you that job and then they pay you for that job. Okay, so like I said, you can work as a graduate assistant, you can work in the computer lab, you can work in the library, you can work in any of the departments within the college. Okay, there's so many places in the bookshop. There's so many places where you can actually get a job within the college. Here, colleges are huge. Okay, there's a lot of opportunities for jobs here. Okay, and also you can work in the cafeterias. Okay, maybe dining hall. Okay, or tuck shops or places like those. Okay, I told you guys, like I never used to choose what I can do. Okay, anything that comes my way, I used to do it. Okay, so I used to also work in the dining hall, cleaning. Okay, cleaning the tables, okay, the floors, okay, helping with cooking pizza and stuff like that. Okay, these are the jobs that you're gonna need to do. Okay, if you're someone who is choosy, then maybe you won't like doing that kind of a job. But you know what? I always say this: as long as I can get the money, as long as I can get the dollars, I'm okay to do anything. That's how I used to do it. Okay, as a student. Okay, and I used to make some good money every month. All right, so you can work. Okay, you have all the time to work. I'm telling you, because all you need to do is just attend the classes in the evenings from 4 p.m. The rest of the day, you can work anywhere. Okay, you have enough time to work, and also you have enough time to do your assignments and all that. Okay. All right, and I told you guys, when you are here as a master's student, you can, not just as a master's student, but also as an undergrad master's student, you can only work up to 20 hours a week. Okay, that's what is allowed, and you can only work on campus. Okay, there's ways that you can work off campus, but you have to get special authorization. Okay, for those who follow me, I think I've talked about this before, so you can go through my page and you'll probably be able to find one of those videos that I've talked about the ways where how you can be able to work off campus. Okay, if you really need to, there is a way out that you can be able to do that. Okay, now lastly but not least, when you are here as a graduate student or as a master's student, okay, you're gonna need to worry about, you know, where to stay. And a lot of people also, they ask me like, how is accommodation, where do you live? Okay, now, there are different options of accommodation. There is accommodation on campus, and then there's accommodation off campus. All right. So mostly, a lot of master's students, they usually stay off campus. Okay. When I was a student, I used to live on campus, but I was just an exception. All right. A lot of people, they don't really stay on campus. They live off campus. On campus can be very, very expensive. Okay, you know, if you are coming as an international student, you are trying to cut on costs, right? So you need to look for accommodation off campus. Okay, there's usually very good accommodation off campus. I've always said this, you know, life as a student here, you have to embrace sharing accommodation. Okay, staying with people and sharing like pots and pans and maybe even buying food together and cooking together. Okay, all right, that's how life is here, guys. Okay, you can't just live on your own because it's very, very expensive, right? It's very, very expensive. Here in the US, the cost of studying, I've told you guys, like I've had this I've had another, session or show where I talked about the cost of studying here in the US. It can be very, very expensive. Okay, so you want to cut on the cost, right? So that's why it's very, very important that you embrace sharing accommodation with people. Okay, other students. All right, that way you'll be able to you'll be able to pay way much less. Okay, I've told you guys, accommodation here for a student, shared accommodation is about $500 a month. Okay, and that's just accommodation. You're not counting you're not counting the utilities, phone bills, right? Or maybe electricity or water, right? All those stuff, like you have to pay for them, right? So it can be a little bit expensive. So you really have to share with other students, okay? So that you can cut on the costs. All right, so that's pretty much the life of an international student who is pursuing their master's degree here in the US. Like I said, personally, I came to the US as a master's student. Okay, so I know how life is out there. Okay, I know all the challenges. Okay, but to be honest with you, the level of education here in the US is absolutely first class. Okay, it's really good. Okay, so if you get a chance of coming and studying here in the US, take advantage of that opportunity. Make it count. Okay, don't come here, spend so much money, and then do nothing about it. Okay, I've always said this, guys. Okay, look for opportunities. Okay, network. Okay, there's a lot of brilliant students that you're gonna meet. Okay, students with amazing brains. Okay, students who want to do big things. Okay, look out for those students. Okay, network with them, get to know what they are doing. Okay, and the moment you network and get to know what they are doing, you're gonna be successful, because I told you guys, after you graduate, you really need to figure out how to stay here and stay here legally. Okay, I've said this, there's a lot of people out there who don't have the right immigration documents, which is a big deal here in the US. Okay, other than a job, the first thing that everyone who comes to this country thinks about is how to get the right immigration documents. Okay, it's a big thing. Okay, because I know, like, a lot of us, when you're out there, we don't know things like this. Okay, we are always happy. Okay, we got a visa to come here, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen, how to get these the right immigration documents for you to live here in the US. Okay, so you have to be worried about that. You have to worry about that. Okay, well, as you come here, think about your immigration documents. After you graduate, how do you live here legally? How do you get a good job? Because if you don't have the right papers, it's going to be very hard for you to get a really well-paying job. To get a well-paying job, you need the right papers. Okay, the right work papers. Very important. Okay, now Just before I finish, I just wanted to let you know, guys, we have a program. It's called the Kenya Airlift Program. Okay, I've talked about this for those who are following me for the first time. If you want to know more about this program, okay, where we are bringing brilliant international students from Kenya, okay, brilliant international students from Kenya who want to come and study master's program here in the US, here in Florida, here in Tampa, okay, at the University of South Florida, okay, and this is a master's program called Master of Science degree in Business Analytics and Information Systems, okay. In that program, in that Kenya Airlift program, you're looking for brilliant candidates, brilliant Kenyans who scored at least a B+ in KCSE combined with a second class upper division of your undergraduate degree, okay. You can have any kind of degree, it doesn't matter which field, okay. So again, for the requirements, you have to have scored at least a B+ in KCSE combined with a second class upper division for your undergraduate degree in any field, okay. And you must be willing to study a Master of Science degree in Business Analytics and Information Systems at the University of South Florida, okay. In that program, we look for your funds to study here, okay. We can get you up to $50,000, guys, okay. Okay, so you don't really have to worry about your school fees, okay. You also get you loans to relocate here in the US, okay. We are partnering with a circle back home, okay, and they'll give you that money, relocation expenses loan, okay, for you to be able to make it here in the US, okay. And now, once you come here in the US, you're gonna be training you on IT programs, okay, so that by the time you graduate in 2 years, okay, you'll be having the real job skills. And then once you graduate, we'll be able to get you a job as an IT consultant here in the US, okay. We'll basically hold your hand. You don't really have to worry about anything, okay. But this program is for brilliant candidates. Like, you have to get a B+, you have to have scored a B+ in a high school, okay, and a second class upper division. And another thing is that once you get into the program, you will need to score at least a 550 in the GMAT exam, okay. GMAT is Graduate Management Admissions Test, a test that you do before you come for any business related or any master's program here in the US, all right. So that's why, and getting a 550, it's not easy. So that's why in that program, we require someone to have scored at least a B+ so that you can have easy time in the GMAT. All right? Okay. Okay. Now, if you don't fit into that Kenya Airlift program, we have other programs. We have the International Scholars Program, where I guide each and every person who wants to come to the US to study. Okay, so if you don't fit into the Kenya Airlift program, reach out to me. Go to my website. My website name is www.successwithbobmweti.com. www.successwithbobmweti.com. You can go there, look at the programs. Like I said, there's the International Scholars Program, where I'll guide you on each and every step of the way of coming to the US as an international student. Okay, I have a program, online program. If you join that program, you'll be part of the International Scholars Academy, okay, where I'll teach you, I guide you on everything that you need to know about coming and studying here in the US. All right, okay, I've told you guys it's not easy to find all this information out there on the internet, okay. So I have everything at one single place where you can be able to get that information, and then you can use that for you to come and study here in the US, okay. Also in the same program, I provide you with a list of universities, okay, most affordable universities here in the US, and also I give you a list of those universities that partner with lenders for international student loans, okay. So also, if you go to my website, there is a link where you can go and apply to scholarships that are offered across the globe. Okay, thousands and thousands of scholarships out there. Okay, you'll never find any other place where you can be able to find these number of scholarships. Okay, so I've done a lot of work. Okay, took me a lot of time to get all this information put together for you guys. Okay, and those scholarships, they are free. Okay, you don't have to pay anything. So just go to the website www.successwithbobmweti.com and go there and see what I have for you. All right, so don't struggle alone. Okay, let me guide you so that you can come here in the US. Okay? See you next week. Goodbye.